Hi, it's Roberta with Quilt Crafters Corner. Today's block is called Aunt Dinah. I love this block. This is a really easy, well, it's not easy. There's quarter square triangles and there's half square triangles. So it is a little bit more advanced, but it's an easy block to put together once you understand where to put your half square triangles and your quarter square triangles and make this work. So let me show you the block because I really like the way this one turned out. So let's take a look at the block and I will show you where all these parts go and how it goes together. As you can see, we have some half square triangles and we have quarter square triangles. So let me explain and show you where all of this goes so that you can see it. Let's start here first with the block. We start with a 4.5 inch center block, and that's just, I chose a solid color. You could probably choose, anything, or white. White would look really nice with this also. So remember how I've talked about when you have 3 rows, it's 4.5, and when you have 4 rows, it's 3.5. So just something to remember when you're working on a block like this and you've got 3 rows, you know that these need to be squared up to 4.5 inches. So we start with our center block, which is a 4.5 inch block. And so we know all of these are going to be squared up to 4.5 inches. So let's start with making the block here. The 4 corner blocks are all the same. They're the same block. And they start here with a 2.5 inch square. And then you take a 3 inch square. And all you do is you're going to cut this on the diagonal from one corner to the other. And you're going to get 2 half square triangles. And then they're just basically going to go like this. And that's, so when you go to put these together, so one side first, so here, and then trim this point off, and then this is going to be opened up, and then you will sew this one. And the same thing. You'll sew and then trim your point off, and you will end up with this section here. And actually, I have one right here. So you're going to end up with that. And that is then going to be attached to this. Now, when you go to put this together, make sure you sew from the side where the pieces are, where it's pieced. So that way you can hit that where the 2 seams cross on your 2.5 inch square. You're going to be able to hit that, and you're not going to lose your points. You're not going to lose your points here. They're going to show up. So that's something to keep in mind when you piece this together. So from this side, not this side. That way you'll be able to see. And then you're going to get this piece here. And once you get this piece, then what I do is I trim these up. And I trim these up just to make sure that they are 4.5 inches. Now, I do this with the diagonal on my ruler and make sure that I'm squaring up to that diagonal. And when you do that, you're going to get a nice square block. And when you go to put this together, it's just going to be so much easier to put this together than if you don't. So there's this. Now this is going to be this corner block there, and I'm going to make 3 more of them, and then I will have enough for that. Now let's talk about your quarter square triangles. To do quarter square triangles, you need to cut this into quarters. And what I do is I go from corner to corner and cut. And then the same thing from the other corner, corner to corner. Now I have 4 of these. Now these are on the bias and this is on the straight of grain. So make sure that you get these put in there correctly in order to, so you don't have any stretching or anything. You don't have a bias out on the edge. So these are cut and ready to go. Now I have those here and here. And this is very simple. They just get, and then I will take them to the machine and I will sew. And make sure that you've got them going in the correct direction, because you want all of these facing up against your 4.5-inch square. So if I sew them this way, what's going to happen is this isn't going to be correct. So pay attention to which side you need to sew on so that this will be in the correct position so that it will face here. And then once that's done, you're going to end up with it like this, and all you're going to do is take your other half square triangles and sew there. Now this one only has a center seam, so that doesn't matter too much. It doesn't matter which way you sew this, but square this up. Once you get this sewn, make sure that this gets squared up so that you have a nice 4.5-inch square to go in there. And these are just the half square triangles that go on here and here. So I will just be cutting those in half to make a half square triangle, and then I'll finish up my block. So that's what I have for you today. It's called Aunt Dinah. It's from Quilter's Cash. These are free for you to print and use. Just make sure you give her credit because she's the one that put this together. I want to thank everybody for watching. I appreciate it so much. And if you haven't joined the swarm, please go join the group. And I will see you in the group. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining me.